probably been doing property for about 10 years now. We currently hold a portfolio that's just under 10 million.
Danny and Katie Bloomfield, property investors and business strategists who share knowledge through public speaking, events, and hosted content.
We're not special.
No.
There's nothing like, we're not stupidly clever people. We're not magically well qualified. But there's one thing we do, Matt, which is special about us, is every day we get up and roll the dice again.
Self-belief. What are your thoughts on what you would say to somebody that's struggling with that and how they can overcome it?
That is something that I have struggled with in the past. I think most people do. There's always a need to continually work on it. New levels bring new devils. I like to brain dump. I'm a massive fan of journaling. If you're feeling overwhelmed, get it out.
For a lot of people, there's a lot of fear around investing in people and mentors and teams.
Top tennis players, they have a coach.
But you very clearly are in love. Are you really the model couple?
Well, yeah, we absolutely are, aren't we? I mean, look, we just love our relationship, you know, and some people don't.
One of our core values is, and something that's really important to us, is about being authentic.
We see it as a responsibility of ours to make our relationship the priority. We've come up against a bit of fight for that before, because no, your children are the most important thing, and we've said that they're dead important to us. But
Danny, Katie, it's an absolute pleasure to have you both here. Thank you for joining us in the membership and on the podcast. I am really excited to be able to introduce you to my audience. I feel there's so much alignment between what you guys are doing, your mission, our mission here. And I just want to take everybody back, because we actually first met a few years ago at a property event. And that, I think, was kind of the main thing. You was around for quite a while, the property stuff. So for those who don't know anything about you, I thought we could just start there. If you just tell us about maybe like you guys meeting, like your early days of success and sort of your journey, really.
oh yeah, absolutely. So hello everyone, nice to be here with Danny and Katie. Katie, he's Danny. The Bloomfields, also known as. So yes, like you said, Matt, we met at a property event, well, probably 3 years ago. So our early successes were in property, weren't they? Yeah. Probably been doing property for about 10 years now, just under a decade. We're not going to dig too much into that, are we? We currently hold a portfolio that's just under 10 million. We work with investors to make that happen and offer them a return. We've been coaching since 2020. So yeah, and I suppose that's where we've then got a bit more sort of met each other in a different way, haven't we?
Yeah, with more of the kind of helping people with just general building their own success, mindset, business, that kind of stuff. I'm interested because I know for you, a big part of what you're helping people do is build wealth. And I think that's a really good place to start is, what does wealth actually mean to you guys?
Okay, great question. And I think everybody's got a different version of that, haven't they? So yeah, we help people to live their own version of a wealthy life in far more than just the financial sense. I mean, we work on 5 pillars, don't we, within the frameworks where we work. I mean, do you want us to dive into those straight
Yes,
away?
give us everything. We want to know. Everybody's got the notepad and pen. Tell us.
We'll give you everything. So the 5 pillars that we work on ourselves are money now. So, because we all need money to live. Yeah. Cash flow is important, isn't it? Wealth building. So money now, money later. Because we don't just want to the cash flow now, which is a lot of what the property stuff is about. Growth mindset, knowing that we can change where we're at any given time. Our health. Without health, we have nothing. What is it all for if we don't have our health? And relationships, and that's the 5th pillar. Relationships with the people around us, with our loved ones, with our family, our kids, our colleagues, and most importantly ourselves as well. So that's what we consider to be a wealthy life, having all of those things all spinning at the right time, at the right momentum, and everything else.
Difficult question, but Danny, I'm interested. What's the foundation out of those 5? Because it's kind of like you need them all, right? But if people are kind of like going, I'm overwhelmed, I've got a lot of things to work on, and I'm like, is it money now? Is it money later? Is it relationships? Is it health? Is it like, what do I do? What would you say is the place for most people to focus on first?
I think with just as a throwaway, without really understanding the bespoke nature of everyone's
Yeah.
reasoning for that, for me it'd be growth mindset. Because I think without the growth mindset, each of those is going to be a struggle. Whereas if you've got that, you can flourish and bloom in each of them. And I think that's really the core of everything that pulls it together. I guess a bit more of a backstory into us and the reason we've come into this and why we're really focused on a wealthy life and not just being rich. And we've purposely not used that word because we fully believe in wealthy lives. And both Katie and myself have had success in life areas previously. We didn't meet until we were in our early 30s. And previous to that, we'd had success in different life areas, but not across everything. And we believe and wanted to passionately drive our growth to make sure that we had an unbelievable relationship together. We were really active and involved parents. We had great businesses, and we also looked after ourselves and showed up as the best version of ourselves. And we want to break generational cycles in our families. We want to be leaders and role models for our children in all senses of those different life areas. So they are all important, but growth mindset would be the one I'd look to first with anybody to understand what's going on and maybe where we can improve, because then all of the others are going to start flourishing.
I want to go deeper on that because
Yeah.
this is something, obviously, a lot of people in this community are at the start of a business journey, whether they still class it as a side hustle or, they're building a fully grown business. And I
Yeah.
often say to people that business is quite simple. It's people that make it complex. And what I mean by that is exactly what you've touched on there. It's emotions, it's fears, it's about mindset. So I
Yeah.
wonder if we could speak to that and give people, like, as best as we can, some tangible strategies and things that they can really utilize to work on mindset, because I completely agree. If you can have the best strategy, the best idea, the best product, the best service, but if this isn't in the right place, none of that stuff works. And I think
Yeah.
some of the key themes that I'm seeing quite common for a lot of people is self-belief.
Mhm.
It's, can I really do it? They hear you say, like, portfolio 10 million, like, yeah, but that's just them and these people, it's not me. So why don't we start with self-belief? What are your thoughts on what you would say to somebody that's struggling with that and how they can overcome it?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is something that I have struggled with in the past. A lot of I think most people do, or have done in the past. A bit of it's all right for them because, or it's all right for him because, and whatever follows it, and anything can follow it, can't it? I think there's always a need to continually work on it because new levels bring new devils. So I think that within, like what Dan's just said about the growth mindset, you need to always be open to revisiting each point. Like, it's not just a one and done ever. And when they become, there's new things come in, there's also new things that will pop in. You can't do this because you can't do this because. I think first of all it's bringing that awareness of, okay, right, there's an issue that keeps cropping up with this self-belief, and recognizing what it is that it is telling you. The second one that I would say then, after bringing the awareness of it, is to actually like pinpoint where it started from, and then learn different strategies to deal with that. And that's going to be bespoke to a lot of different people. So we are both NLP practitioners. So we work with people to unpick those limiting beliefs, because a lot of the time it will be something that's very deep rooted, and it won't just disappear a lot of the time just with a quick. I'd love to give you a quick I'd love to go, just do this and then you'll be fine.
Just give us a magic wand if you could, please.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of us do want, is that a magic pill. Take this pill and you'll never feel that again. But it's not. It's so I think getting the awareness of it, and really digging into how you feel when that happens or when this comes up. And then you can start putting in the strategies. But that's really going to be a personal thing.
Anything to add on that in terms of self-belief for you, Dan?
Yeah, I think just to add to it, one of the things we're probably looking to do there is to find evidence of why we can do it. And I think that a lot of the time, if you can go and find some evidence of why you can do it, because somebody else that maybe is equally unqualified, maybe is equally they've got children, and I think a lot of this sometimes we will look at people and go, it's all right for them because they haven't got kids, or it's all right for them because they've got money.
So
Or
get
it's all
all
right.
your excuses out on paper and
Yeah,
then
Get 'em
go
all
and
out.
find examples of successes that still had the same excuses, right?
yeah,
Absolutely, because if there's one other person similar to you doing it, it means you can do it. It means it's possible. And I think that is the biggest thing to try and do that. So within everything we coach, one of the things we worked out was um, why is it that so this isn't an ego thing, but I just lay it out on the table just so it's out there. So like Kate said, our portfolio is valued at about £10 million at the moment, our property one. We've also got, we're developers as well, so we're developing, we buy land, we buy commercial buildings, we buy big houses, convert them into flats or build new builds. So we've got about another £8 million worth of developments going on in that part of the business as well. We manage nearly about 80 odd tenants. We've built a letting agency in house. We're coaching. We're public speakers. We're parents to 6 children. We've both got parents alive as well, so we're heavily involved in our family stuff. We coach children's sports teams outside, and we've bought and sold other businesses or created startups and sold them as well. So just as a bit of a summary, like we've got a lot going on and have had a lot going on, but we're not special.
no,
There's nothing, like, we're not stupidly clever people. We're not magically well qualified. We didn't start with any money. But there's one thing we do, Matt, which is special about us, is every day we get up and roll a dice again. Every day we play the game, we roll a dice, no matter what happened yesterday, let's get up and play the game again. And I think the success really, if you can keep doing that and playing the game, you'll get wins and you'll get losses, but it's a game. Try and understand the rules, get up and play the game. The ones that lose are the ones that quit.
yeah. The ones that stop playing.
And stop playing. So I think for us it's just about, where can we find these little wins and what do we do? Now, just to strip that back a little bit further, when we're looking at what we realized our system was, and we've put it into something that's even more recognizable, is we have a superpower. And our power is, with everything we do, P stands for purpose. So in all of those life areas, what's our purpose? What are we trying to achieve? What's our North Star? What's our guiding light that we're trying to achieve? O is organization. So how do we get organized? How do we pull this together? How do we get structured? How do we do that? W is willpower. So how committed are we to achieving this? What is our willpower? What's our resilience and our commitment? E is our energy. So how can we control our energy around this life area? How can we make sure we're showing up? How can we make sure we're sleeping well, we're eating the right things and give energy to it? And R is results. So what are our results like? What are they telling us? What clues can we get from them? And then how do we review that, reevaluate, and go back in again? So that word power, our power formula, is linked to everything we're doing, and we just methodically go through that. It's just learning the rules. It's just learning a system. It's not being clever. And then it's getting up every day and rolling the dice and playing the game.
I've got chills. I've got every now and then when I'm doing these interviews, I get this like excitement running through my, like when you said in particular, we roll the dice every day. It's as simple as that. And you said it, the only difference between those who succeed and those who fail is just deciding to quit. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody has imposter syndrome. Everybody thinks, I can't do this. It's too much. It's too hard. The only difference is not the absence of any of that. It's just, what are you going to do about it? And you choose to play the game every day. And it's as simple as that. And if you can just play the bloody game and see it as a game, it's not life or death. It's just business. They're just goals. We're still here. We're alive. We've got our health. Just play the bloody game. Don't get so serious about the game. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Now, I think aligned with this, and I love that power. I think that's such a good framework to give everyone tonight. But another thing that I think's aligned with what we're saying is people are struggling with that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, but then they go, okay, come on, let's go. Let's play the game. Let's keep going. But then they struggle with overwhelm. That's the next thing, because they've got these goals. I mean, one of the things that I just thought immediately, how can I help people be less overwhelmed? Tell them about you guys and they'll be like, bloody hell, I've got it easy. Because like, I'm sure there's loads of people that just heard you speak then like, how do you do all of that? So I'd love you each to just give us some nuggets about overcoming overwhelm. What is it for you guys individually that you do?
Okay, do you want me to go first again? How you find we work, Matt, is that I normally go blah, 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 and then Danny will put it in a really coherent way.
If it works, let's do it. Let's go with that.
It's fine. We always say like I'm the chaos and here's the calm, you know. So overwhelmed. Look, I get overwhelmed a lot, even now, and it is again using that power formula to okay, how am I going to do this? And what is it you're overwhelmed with? I think first of all, I like to brain dump. I'm a massive fan of journaling. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed, get it out, because if it's all in here, it's pinging around and you know going everywhere. So I would get it out and like, what is it you're thinking about? Prioritizing things. Danny's going to talk to you in a minute about his default diary. I just know that that's what he's going to mention. If anyone doesn't have a default diary, Danny does, and he will absolutely share it with you.
I'll geek out on that in a minute.
Yeah. But I like to get everything out, and it usually looks like a horrendous mind map of blech. And okay, so what is I'm trying to achieve right now? And what are the next 3 things that I need to do? I'm big on, I know I sound like one of these gurus, but I'm big on meditation. I'm big on exercise, and I'm big on journaling. And if I don't do those things, I'm not at my best. Simple. Like we've got a lot of kids, right? I mean, just before we came on here, we said to you about one of them's just passed his theory test. He's not, you know, we're teaching 2 of them to drive at the moment. I mean, you have to keep yourself quite centered, right? But there's a lot going on and different hats quite quickly. I'm a parent now. All right, I'm a CEO. Okay, this staff member's just had a meltdown. Whereabouts are we going right now? And I mean, I know you mentioned about the property portfolio, but there's big money involved there. You have to hold your nerve with things like that as well. So, yeah, I think when I get overwhelmed, get it all out, and then figure out what it is that I'm trying to do right now. Because sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, can you? Yeah.
Danny, is this your default diary now coming out?
Yeah, default diary is one of them. I'll come back to that in a minute because I think Kate's touched on some really great points there. And I think the thing to remember is every time we level up, we're going to maybe the unknown again.
Yeah.
And what got me here won't get me there. I do believe that. So there's things that at times as we're leveling up, there's sort of something in being comfortable with the uncomfortable and just going, I recognize you, my friend, this feeling, and we're here again. And actually sometimes that's the thing you want, because you want to be leveling up in terms of people you're working with, impact, income, whatever it is. And so when we get to sometimes we go, oh no, do I go back or do I hold myself here and go, right, let's work through the desert now and get to the other side? And I think that, again, remembering the power formula, if we come back to what's my purpose, I think that is always a really good way for us of removing overwhelm, because you come back and realize there's a bigger play here. And a lot of the time we get overwhelmed with the noise and the volume of stuff. And if we can step back sometimes, and instead of thinking, I've got these emails, I've got to do that, I've got those phone calls, I've missed this, I've missed that, and all of these things, if you can go, hang on a second, what are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to achieve X, or we're trying to do Y. Okay, so what are the best steps? What is the next step for me to just do now? And it might actually just be leaving 15 unread messages, or not calling those 10 people back, because yeah, that is quite important, but it's not the most important thing you should be doing. There's other bigger things to do that will help move you forward. So that's just one thing.
I think just to highlight, Danny, before you move on, because I don't want people to miss that. what I heard you say was you go to the bigger purpose. What is the main goal? Not all the bits we have to do, and then you chunk it down to what is the next step. Not and there's this and there's that and there's you just go what is the next important step? Just one step.
One mentor that we were working with once used to say that, didn't they? Like there's when there's so much movement with overwhelm, I always find that with overwhelm, and I know my brain works quite fast like that. So it feels like a ping pong machine, pinball machine, like everything's going like everywhere. And I think sometimes to find the stillness in that is a bit of a gift. Like if you can just get still, take the noise down, get still, get quiet, and figure out the next right move, that can sometimes be that's the one thing you need to do right now. Just get still and figure out what is the next one move that you need to make. Think of it again like a game. Chess, drafts, whatever it is. Roll the dice again. What's the next right move?
So I think around that then I think Dale Carnegie's quote is inactivity breeds doubt and fear, whereas activity breeds confidence and energy or something like that. So it is that sometimes we can get quite stuck when we're overwhelmed, and that creates more of it and is a problem. So it's those activities. What are the key things I need to be doing here, and how do I move forward? It's also, so this is why I picked growth mindset when you talked about what's the one thing, because sometimes it is like every emotion is a good emotion. Every emotion we experience is giving us a clue. It's giving us feedback. That's all emotions are. It's just feedback. So if you can start learning to think, right, what is this overwhelm telling me? What can I learn from it? And it might be that I've just got too much going on. I've got too much going on for me. Now we've both had different experiences of overwhelm, what we've done with it. But a real personal one for me is in earlier days, I'd then stop doing some things. And actually I ended up stopped doing a few things that I wanted to do more than the other things that I chose to carry on doing. So I decided that I was never going to do that again. I was going to really choose about what I wanted to do and find a different way. And one of those ways is it might be that you need to build a team out, or you need to find automation or systems, or you do need to stop doing some things, but choosing carefully what you do. We really we talk quite a lot about the £2 per hour, £20 per hour, £200 an hour tasks. Which ones do we need to be focusing on, and how do we delegate or delete the others? And that then helps remove some overwhelm as well. In terms of the O for the power formula, so O being organization, huge believer, and with all of our mentees and clients, we try and instill, and when we're business consultant for people, what's their time look like? What are you doing in your time and how you're using it? We've all got the same amount of time in a day. If we're lucky enough to wake up the following day, we get our time bank balance filled up again, and we get to choose it and spend it how we want to choose it and to spend it. So what are we doing with that time? We can either just pick up the loudest stuff because the phone's ringing, and I'll just stepping back a bit. I'll get quite a few people go, you haven't called me back and I rang you last week, or I sent you 7 WhatsApps. Yeah, it's my choice whether I ring back or whether I message you back. And at that time, it wasn't quite the most important thing. And sometimes that causes some frustration. But actually, what they're trying to do is be like me a lot of the time and choose how they're spending their time and control it rather than being controlled. So it's a good lesson for other people. But we have, and we ensure all of our team have them, a default diary. And that in its simplest form is an organized block of time every day of what you're doing. And I'll try and get to the point where we've got Monday, Tuesday, when every Monday is the same, every Tuesday is the same, every Wednesday is the same, and so on. Now, there's got to be flexibility and movement in it. But let's say, for example, coaching clients, we will try where we can to have our coaching clients a regular Wednesday at this time, and that will be every 4th week or whatever it'll be, and that will stay consistent. The same with if we need to do finance tasks and we need to put our expenses in, or we need to check our bank balances, our bank accounts, sorry, or we've got lead calls to make, lead gen calls, or we've got social media posts to do, or we've got to pick the kids up from school. Block that time out of your diary and then set that as a reoccurring event. So even in our diaries, we've got core task 1 for an hour, 10 to 11. Then we've got collaboration time for another hour. core task one is, what is my most important goal for that day to move my business forward, my life forward, my strategy forward? So I haven't got this excuse of saying, I haven't got time to do that really important thing, because I'm blocking the time out before I even know what is going to happen in that time. But I'm creating that time and protecting it. Collaboration time is, so that time, by the way, core task time might be, I'm not got my phone on or my inbox on, no distractions, I'm getting it done. Collab time is, that's when I can have meetings, that's when I can make phone calls back, I can do emails, I can do all the things where I need to collaborate with other people, and I open my phone back up. So that's just a little example of the type of stuff.
It's about being intentional, isn't it? And then setting clear boundaries around that. I want to know what happens at hammer time. I'm just kidding. When you go, party time. No, I love that. And also, Katie, you mentioned about, a mentor once said, and it just made me think, what's your thoughts on how important mentors have been for you guys? And also, again, I mean, we're kind of preaching to the converted, the people that are here, but in terms of people that worry about investing in mentors, and you spoke about building out a team, you spoke about delegating. And I think for a lot of people, there's a lot of fear around investing in people and mentors and teams. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so we've got two mentors this year. We're working with two separate mentors this year. Quite heavy investments as well. We are at our best when we've got one. The best coaches have coaches. We always look at it like the top tennis players in the world. Andy Murray, or to give me another one quickly, Federer. I don't know who it is now, right? We'll all watch Wimbledon in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. But top tennis players, they have a coach. If they don't have a coach, and they are at the top of their game, that's how they keep there. So we're all in for it, aren't we? We do a lot of due diligence before sort of onboarding with them, and we make sure we know what we want to get out of it, what success looks like to us. I think we're all if you're in here, you've probably you're going to be one of these people that have got ambition. And the one thing that ambitious people tend to do is they look back and they think, well, I haven't come any far because I want to be there. Okay, but you were back here, so look how far you've actually come. You've just moved the goalpost on where you want to be, rather than hitting the goal and stopping. We say, well, actually, now I've got there, I want to go here now. We keep wanting to go forward, but no, we're all in for mentors, aren't we? We've had one probably for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And there has been times when we haven't, and there've been the times when the momentum stopped, the motivation stopped,
Overwhelms
increased because the accountability is not there. You were always in for it before I was. That was the bit my mindset had to change, because I was like, what are we paying this person for? But and that's just me trying to be really honest, because it was like, well, what is this person doing in our business? Okay, so they're not doing anything. What they're doing is they're making sure that we're in the strategy, we're sticking to that purpose. What is the end goal? What are we actually trying to achieve here? I don't know what you want to
just to add. So this year, we're investing about
next time.
No, I like Federer.
It's like Ant and Dec. They've got to be on a certain side. You know your place. It works.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've invested around 50 grand this year. Two different mentors in different businesses. But I believe they're like a good accountant. They don't actually cost you money. They end up saving you money in the long run, because you're generating more money. They're stopping you from making the mistakes. They're seeing roadblocks in the way before you see them. The ideal is they're a few steps ahead of you, or where you're aspiring to be, so they can really short circuit the time it takes you to get there and save quite a lot of stress and tears.
I think one thing that can be crippling for people is the fear of what other people say about them when they're on this journey of investing in themselves, building a business. And it's often friends, family, somebody they went to school with 30 years ago that they still have friends with on Facebook and things like that we fear the most. Yeah. I just wondered if you could talk on your experience with that, because I know everybody, when you're putting yourself out there, you're doing something substantial, everybody has that, and everybody has that fear, and we might have people sometimes well-meaning that say, why are you doing that? Why are you spending that money? You shouldn't be doing that. And they try and talk us out of it. Other times there's jealousy and people are just horrible and nasty. If anybody's listening going through that, and it's one of the things that's holding them back for truly going out there and pushing to achieve what they want to achieve, could you just share like how you deal with that and some of maybe your experiences?
Yeah, I was going to say it won't stop, because the more you do, the better, the more successful you are, the more people that will try and take you down. And like you said, sometimes it's not from a place of being horrible. Sometimes it is your family. Our parents sometimes say to us, don't they, like, have you done enough yet? Are you going to take a break yet? Well, actually, no, this is our life. It's not like they're like, what about work-life balance? No, doesn't exist. It's just our life. It's just how it is. And yes, but there will be those nasty people as well, or people that want to, like you say, the person you went to school with, who you really think, are they going to say something if I share something on Facebook or whatever else? And I always say it's like the Taylor Swift effect, right? I always say that Taylor Swift cannot afford to give a shit what Gerald, who's reading the Daily Mail, thinks about her. She's going to do it anyway because she's got a bigger deal. Whether you like Taylor Swift or not, I'm not a massive Swiftie. Are you? I don't think you are you? But she's a banging.
I love a bit of Shake It Off. Oh,
she's a banging businesswoman.
she absolutely is. Yeah,
She is a very good businesswoman. Whether you like or don't like her songs, or even her ethos or anything else, she's a very good businesswoman, and she can't afford to. She can't be kept small by what someone in Asda's thinking about her. And I think the same goes for everybody who's listening to this. If what somebody says about, they're going to have opinions anyway. People are going to have opinions on you anyway. Whether you, oh, why have you not had a baby yet? Oh, why have you had too many babies? Oh, you're a bit young to be a mum. Oh, you're a bit old to be a mum. Why did you dye your hair blonde? Why don't whatever it is, whatever. Oh, I don't like your tattoo. Okay, whatever it is, people are going to have an opinion on you, and it is absolutely out of your control. Anybody can think, say, do whatever they want to, and we're in control, and that's part of the whole, staying in control of the beliefs and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And being involved in great networks and communities like you've created, Matt, and we'll all be involved in maybe other ones as well. And I think there's a support network of people that understand it.
Yeah.
So I think the thing to remember is nobody's probably immune to it. Everybody's had it on their way up and at the top. And it really is a case of, generally family, we find, or good friends mean well, but they don't understand, or they're scared for you. Sometimes, and we've had this as well, it's a little bit of the green-eyed monster. It's crabs in a bucket syndrome, that they don't want you to get out, so they want to try and just pull you in and keep you there. It's a really, really interesting dynamic. And the ones that you think this isn't for everybody, but this is some of what we found. The people you think are closest to you sometimes are the ones where they surprise you the most. But I think it comes back to the P in power again. What is your purpose, and what do you really want to achieve? If it's just to be liked by everyone and the nicest person in the room, then maybe you need to make different decisions. Or if it's to achieve a certain level of whatever success looks like for you in whatever area you're in, then you've got a choice. Do you carry on the path you're on because you really believe in it, and that's going to the greater good of what you want to achieve and show up? Or do you not? And is it easy just to be sort of fitting with everybody else and into the norm? And I think we've certainly had those crossroads recently and over a period of time. And each time it does come back to, right, let's just step. If it becomes a bit of a problem where it does wobble us, which it's doing less and less, to be honest, and you get a bit more used to it. But what are we trying to achieve here? Because when I last looked, our mortgage company want us to pay the bill. They don't go to our parents or our family or our best friends and go, can you pay the bill for them? Because they've had a rough month because they've been worrying about what you've been saying about them. They definitely don't do that. So we all have that choice. So I think what we've learned is you move through there's a process with it. And you'll have people try and tear you down to start with, and they'll say it's because they're concerned about you. Then I can't remember what is it, but the exact terminology of it. But we've now got to the people that were doing that. There's been one or two go, so tell me how you're doing it then, because I'd actually really like to know. So they've done a full circle, and instead of just trying to tear us down, they now want to learn from us, and that's been a few family members as well, which has been very interesting because it's been mocking and Mickey taking and stuff like that, and I'm scared for you, and all of the reasons they're creating. But actually, it's quite tough sometimes for people to look in a mirror and realise they haven't lived the life to their truest sense that they really wanted, and that's what we're trying to show up to do. We're trying to be the best versions of us. We live by a mantra, 1% better every day. Can we be 1% better every day? And if we keep striving to be 1% better every day, then we feel like we're heading in the right direction. We won't always get it right. None of us will. But it comes back to that growth mindset again of, do we believe we're doing the right things? Yes. Do we believe we're good people? Yes. Are we trying to help people? Yes. Do we want to have a better life for us? Yes. Do we want to role model for other people around us and our family, our children? Yes. Actually, we're not bad people then. We're not doing bad things. So we're comfortable now, regardless of what you think of us. We're comfortable with who we are, what we stand for, and what we're doing. And you can come with us on the journey or you can not. And that's your choice. That's not us.
Love that. Now, one of the things I've got to ask you about is you are, in my eyes and many people's eyes, I think the model couple, right? Not only are you bloody great looking and lovely people and, family, very family oriented. Obviously, you said 6 children, multiple businesses and so on, but you very clearly are in love. And there's very clearly that connection and that bond that isn't like this thing that we often see in relationships where people just kind of, they're together, but they're not. They're just going through the motions, living under the same roof. Give us those secrets. And actually, is it true? Are you really the model? Are you really the model couple?
Well, yeah, we absolutely are, aren't we? I mean, look, we just love our relationship, and some people don't. Some people don't love it. Again, we get mocked quite a lot for that, don't we?
Well, we went to LA together and you saw us, and I think it's really nice when we get to spend time with other people we know or who don't know us that well in that scenario, because one of our core values is and something that's really important to us is about being authentic in everything we do and say. So we're not talking about default diaries, for example, because it just sounds really great and clever.
I hate default.
We don't do it anyway. We live by this stuff as well. So our relationship is something that, again, from previous, we both really wanted to make sure stayed at the pinnacle of everything we did, and we're very intentional about it. You used the word earlier, Matt, and we're very intentional about everything we do.
Yeah.
And our relationship is one of those things. And we want to role model that to our children as well, so they can see what we believe is a really healthy relationship, and that they can grow up thinking it's okay to show how much in love you are, and it's okay to really want to back that person, and it's good for a man to be a really dedicated dad, and for a man to say in front of his football friends of, well, I'm not going to join in taking a piss out of women because I love my wife and I'm really happy in my relationship, thank you. And like, that stuff is cool, not some of the stuff that we're led to believe when we're growing up is cool. So we really live by those standards, those morals, those things, that vision for everything we've got, mate. We've got a vision of what a 10 out of 10 life would look like for that.
Yeah.
And we then work really hard to do it. So we've got a few things that we do with that.
Yeah. We have.
So
what would you say just on that? Because I know there'll be people that they have the same intentions and they may even have some of the same rituals like journaling and sort of time blocking and being intentional and valuing it. But then they do get tired and there's a lot going on and they're running the businesses and the being the parent and the wearing the different hats and sometimes they find it slips. Like, do you ever have those moments? And if so, how do you work through that?
I think like early doors, we've mentioned to you already, we've both been married previously. Okay, they're like something stupid, ridiculous, like 42% of marriages end in divorce, and that's even higher if you're on second marriages. We, like we said, we didn't find each other till we were 30 something. I mean, I know I don't like a day over 21, but so we didn't find each other till we were that age. We really talked early doors about what does a relationship look like to us? What does it look like? And this, again, go back to that power, right? The P. What's your purpose here? Because no one gets married with the intention of getting divorced. Nobody. But what does happen is that the space between you gets filled with the things you don't say, and then you can't get closer together again because there's too much between you. Resentment builds, or opinions or judgments, or and then, like you said, you get back to that the factual stage in a relationship when you're just talking about, are you picking the kids up today? Yep, dinner's at 4. And the logistical bits, rather than actually, do you know what, when you said this earlier, actually kind of upset me a bit. Okay, what was it that upset you? Why was that? Is it something for you? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it respect thing, or is there something deeper here for you? Do you know what I mean? Like, so within the relationships pillar, we look at romantic relationships, but we also look at the relationship with yourself and how you're serving that. And I think a lot of the time, sometimes we sort of deflect onto others how we're actually feeling on ourselves as well. And there's certain techniques that we can use, again, very personal within NLP frameworks, but to sort of overcome those things. I think it's communication on all levels, isn't it, that goes deeper. Where a lot of, I mean, I don't know what kind of podcast this is, Matt, but we talk about intimacy a lot, more than just being a sex thing, and keeping that at the forefront of your mind as well. Like, how are you actually staying connected? How are you making sure that, if you do run a business together, where are the boundaries? Where are the lines? Roles and responsibilities within the businesses, and also your roles and responsibilities as parents as well, if you've got children involved in that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to share the 777 thing or anything, but
so again, it comes back to purpose without trying to be really ultra boring.
it is boring.
It comes back to
there's
purpose. If you could write a purpose statement, a vision statement, a mission statement, whatever you want to call it, but it's a similar sort of thing, of each of those pillars of your life, what would that relationship look like to you? With relationship with your partner, with your boss, or with your staff, depending on which end of the scale you sit there, with your parents. If you went through each of those relationships and said, this is actually, if I could choose, which we all can, by the way, what that relationship looked like and how I showed up, what would it look like? And you can do that in words, you can mind map it, you can do it in drawings, whatever you want to do. And then work to it and keep checking in. So again, just being really, really intentional. So we've got this thing we call the 777 strategy. So in our relationship, every 7 days, we make sure that we have at least half an hour to an hour without kids, without anybody else around. That might be walking the dog, it might be going to Costa and having a coffee or whatever, but just some time for us and our relationship. Every 7 weeks, it's a full day. And every 7 months, it's at least 24 hours minimum away. Without the kids even. And since Bobby was born, our youngest is 4.5. We've been doing this ever since he was born. And again, that's brought some interesting comments from family and stuff like that. Because I think the first time we went, he was about 5 months, something like that. And it was like, no, we're going for a night away. And in March, we went to Egypt and we had 4 nights away because he's a bit older, and that was great. But is it selfish, or is it actually the best thing for the kids? Because when you come back, you're full of energy. You're I'm not going to say back on track, but you are absolutely back in tip-top condition of energy. Like, we're just high-fiving each other because we've had 8 hours sleep without waking up or being woken up. And we're like new people. 4 nights of that, mate. The bags have gone, and we're like, oh my God, let's go. We can get back to the other sleep routine. And we're on it. And the kids, not that we notice it, by the way, 6 months and 3 weeks before we go. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're going, oh yeah, we're really struggling here as parents or whatever. But you just notice that little zip in your energy and your patience and things like that. So again, default diary, they're in the diary.
Yeah.
That's in. That time's getting protected. We get to choose where we go differently, and we sort that bit out, but very much like intentional.
I think just to add in there as well, I think, we are part of a blended family, and none of them would be here if it wasn't for us. Like, the children that we brought to the relationship, or the one that we then added to it. None of them would be there if it wasn't for us. So we see it as a responsibility of ours to make our relationship the priority. And we've come up against a bit of fight for that before, because no, your children are the most important thing, and we've said that they're dead important to us, but none of them would be here if it wasn't for us. We don't want our children to be around shouting, screaming, not liking each other, that general that general like offishness, the where you can cut the tension in the air, things like that. I do not want to be around it, and I don't expect the children to be around it. So, and actually, the three older ones have all got very open, healthy, quite relationships, haven't they? And they're quite open about things like that as well. Like if you've been married for like 6 years and you're still not weeing with the door open, then
Do you know what we had? We had probably one of the best compliments we could have, which is from one of our children's, who's now an ex-boyfriend, and he said to her, he went, yeah, but like your parents, that's not real life. That's not what everyone's like, and you shouldn't try and achieve that. You should just accept things differently. And when we heard that, and when she repeated that to us, it's sad that that's how, like, we've been there. So it's sad how that is how life is sometimes. But it was also the biggest boost for us that she was like, as soon as he said that, I thought, yeah, I fucking will, because that's what I want it to be like. Sorry if I'm not allowed to say this, because I just have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite hard hitting for us, and also really proud of her that she realized that she does want to try and achieve an amazing relationship, that she wants to spend the rest of her life with somebody, and she was quite happy as a late teenager to see that really early and go, okay, no. And hopefully that's saved her quite a few years of pain as well, and the other kids. So we're just like, we're not going to try and preach. We're just gonna try and role model it, and yeah, just be really intentional about what we're doing.
This has been outstanding. There's so much that I'm sure we can all learn and take forward from just listening to you guys this night tonight. I want to be mindful of the time, and I know that we're running over because I just could listen to you all night, but I want to do some of the kind of more quick fire general questions that I ask all our guests on this show. You can either do like an answer each, or just one answer between you, whatever comes natural, whatever the ant and deck equivalent is. I always say quick fire, it very rarely is, but obviously just see what comes up. So these are the questions. The first one is, some of the best advice you've ever received in your lives, and why?
Do you want to go first? Have you got something? My mum gave me a really, really great piece of advice once.
Go.
That laugh makes me think, should you be sharing it?
I've learned really quickly, there's a few things you shouldn't do on live TV. Work with children, work with animals, or work with Katie. Don't know what's going to happen.
You never know.
I won't do that.
Go on,
No, I won't do that one. No, I won't do that one. No, I won't. I'm trying to think of something else really quickly. My mum gave me some really good advice when I was pregnant once, but I mean, that's irrelevant for this, right?
It depends if anyone's pregnant.
Best piece of advice.
I think the best piece of advice I've had is sometimes you need to forget your ego. What is the right thing? Because we can actually get quite blinded because of our ego, and we don't even know it sometimes. So there's that. And the other thing that stands out for me, without a shadow of a doubt, is There's a gift in everything. Sometimes we just have to look a little bit harder for it.
Powerful. Okay, flip side is worse advice. Sometimes advice that might have been well-meaning, but actually turned out to be really not useful.
I don't know if it's advice, but like it's the hustle culture.
Mm.
Hustle. I don't buy into the hustle culture. Like you've just got to keep hustling, just got to keep hustling, just like, and that's different to keep getting up every day and rolling the dice because you know, like when you're going so much that you haven't got any more to give. What you can't help anybody if you're laying on the floor. There we are. There's my best piece of advice. Put your own oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
I will be reminded about that. If anyone follows us on social media, every time we go on holiday, we go on holiday again on Friday. Every time we go on holiday, I'm reminded of putting your own oxygen mask on before you help anybody else. You're no good to anybody if you're laying on the floor.
Worst piece of advice from me was more of a statement, but it served me brilliantly because I disagreed with it straight away, and have fought hard to reverse the psychology of it ever since. Which was an ex-business partner, an ex-bank manager, said to me, "Nice people and good people don't win; they just get trampled all over. It's the ones that are arseholes that end up winning in life." And I just thought, I disagree with that so much that it's helped me work even harder to prove that good people, nice people, can be as equally, if not more, successful. Maybe sometimes it might be a little bit of a longer route because you're not trampling over everybody, but it's much more sustainable.
And
Yeah.
you can sleep at night, like happy with your decisions as well, which I think is the most important thing.
I think just to really expand on that is that another worst one is you've made your bed, you've got to lie in it.
Yeah.
And like we have this phrase as a family, our surname's Bloomfield, right? But we have this phrase like and can't think who it is, Jim Rohn maybe.
Yeah, Jim Rohn.
You are not a fucking tree. If you don't like where you are, get up and move. Like no matter where you are. And I think we were both told that very young in life. Like, well, you've made your bed, you've got to lay in it now. Fucking haven't. I'm getting up and I'm moving and I'm going to be somewhere else, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like so.
I love it.
Yeah,
and I'm buying a bigger bed, a extra large bed.
Yeah, I want a bigger bed. I want a bigger bed. He won't let me have a bigger one because he says we'll be too far away.
I'm not having it.
Oh, but that's nice. That's cute, though. All right, the next one is based around the idea that I think often as listeners of podcasts and things like that, we put the guests on a bit of a pedestal and it's like they've got their shit figured out and they're the people with all the answers. And obviously we're all always human, and you've already touched upon it tonight, new levels, new devils. There's always challenges and struggles. So if you're happy to share and be vulnerable with this one, the question is, what is something right now you are still struggling with? What is a challenge? And importantly, how are you working through it?
Oh, probably couldn't have come at a better time. Oh, Matt, you've surprised me with that one. Right. Well, and we spent a week together or a few days together a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not going to go into detail about it if that's okay with you.
Of course, yeah.
If I cry now, then I'm just going to shut the fuck up and Danny's going to take over. We absolutely are. We do struggle with things just the same as everybody else. And there are some issues within our family's tight, our in our house, our kids, great, everybody. And there are some wider family issues. And I'm not going to go into those, but a lot of those are probably centered around the success that we've had. And that's something that I'm very struggling with at the moment. And you can probably pick up on the change in the voice. And I'm happy to be vulnerable about that. I won't share publicly anything about it, but I will share that is an issue at the moment.
Yeah, upholding boundaries is being sort of true to what we're believing and thinking and the reasons why, and trying to stay strong in one sense, but also one of the things we always constantly do is checking in and actually, like, let's look at ourselves before we look at anyone else and any other situation. Where can we learn? What can we do? So sometimes then going, actually, we're comfortable, so we've checked in. Here's still our decision because we're comfortable with that, and then being able to manage what then comes back to you, the backlash from that, and being quite strong with it. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's it.
boundaries.
I
Yeah.
think for me, just to add a slightly different sense in them, the one struggle-ish at the moment is and I don't like using the word struggle just because I'm very careful now what I'm trying to put in my own mind, because I know that where focus goes, energy flows. So I try and use words really carefully, but
So you can say like a challenge that I am
challenge,
overcoming, or
yeah,
yeah, that kind of
yeah.
thing.
So a challenge that I'm overcoming at the moment is probably the overwhelm of tasks. We've just recruited 4 new members of our team in the last 6 weeks. So there's a lot of training. We're on a raise for new developments we've got going on at the moment, and we're again, this is just numbers, but we're nearly there. We've raised a few million, and we've got about one left to go, and it's happening. But there's lots of important things because we're scaling 2 businesses at the moment, 2 different businesses, and so our word of the year last year was freedom. So we wanted to provide freedom in lots of things, and we did that with what it meant for us. Our word of the year this year is bloom, not just because it's part of our surname, but actually we want it to bloom into everything now. We've cut some stuff free last year. We're traveling a lot through business and personally. We've been able to get rid of some stuff that wasn't working with us, get more of what we do want to. And this year it's about, like, let's really crank it up. Let's have a proper good crack at it, and let's just have a go and see what's capable. And that's the fun of it. What brings that sometimes is, ah, shit, we've got a lot to do now, and we're scaling in this and we're scaling that, and it's just pulling it together and making sure we really support our team so they don't feel that overwhelmed. So my one is trying to do that, but there's a little bit of gym work that is dropping out for me at the moment, and that's really important because I'm getting a little bit of a dad bod that I want to make sure I keep off. So it's just that checking in with, actually, this is not forever. This is a period of time, and you're choosing it and being very intentional about it. But making sure that when we hit that line, it flips back over and it doesn't end up going on, and then it gets to 2028, and you go, oh, hang on, how did I end up here? So it's just knowing that this is for a period of time, it's not forever, and making sure then you're determined to push through it.
So we've got Helen who's on the call at the moment, and I could just feel her going like, "This sounds very familiar, Matt." Like, there's so much in terms of that thing of we've got an intention. It sometimes feels like it's going a million miles an hour. It's an exciting mission and purpose that you're moving towards, but sometimes other areas you see slip in and the overwhelm can creep in. But it's like you've just said there, it's recognizing it is only a season. There is an outcome and a purpose to it. And
Yeah,
just as best as you can, following everything you've spoken about tonight, really, and managing it, but also knowing you're human and you won't get it perfect. And that's okay too, right?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Guys, this
Abs-
has just been so good. And I know that everybody listening will be like, if they've never heard of you before, they now want to go and check you out. They want to make sure they follow you, see your content, join your mailing list, all that kind of stuff. Just tell us, how can we get more from the Bloomfields?
Well, I mean, come and follow us, or no, give me a friend request on social media. I'm really active on Facebook. You're also on Instagram, aren't
Mm.
you? We've got a joint page on Instagram at Danny and Katie Bloomfield. There's nothing posh about it. It's just the Bloomfields. Um, yeah, come and
Definitely hook
get
up with us.
involved
We'd
in what
we'd
we
like to connect
yeah.
more.
And you've got a link as well. Have you got something to give us all that you're going to send over as
Yeah,
well?
the Wealthy Life Playbook. We will send the link to you. We want to gift that to everybody. I was thinking, shall we do it for everybody who's on now?
Oh yeah, we're gonna throw another.
Yeah, sorry.
I
I
like
see.
it.
Like he said, don't work with live.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if obviously, Matt, if that's all right with you,
Yeah.
we'll offer everybody who's on the call now a free copy of our book. We'll send it to you in the post.
Of
If that's okay with you, if they can get in touch with you,
course. Yeah, we'll
we'll,
figure that out afterwards then, right? And we'll figure out how to do that. But thank you
if
so
you'd
much.
like a copy,
I'm
obviously you don't
sure
have.
people would love okay, they'll be like, "Oh my god, yes!" So that would be amazing. Thank you so much. So we're going to head over now to the members' question and answer section. But just before we do, the final question to end the main podcast that I ask every guest, I would love an answer from both of you. What is your personal definition of success?
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Right, okay, very quickly. Because we talk about this all the time. My personal definition of success is to wake up every single day loving the life that I'm living and be content. The contentment that I feel within my life is something that I never thought I would get. And I just feel it doesn't always have to be a strive for something else. It is, yeah, just a contentment here, for me is a success. Don't make me cry.
Mine's very similar, which might surprise you, but it's very similar. I think we probably all felt it where there's that internal conflict and it doesn't feel great. So it's again waking up every day feeling totally at peace with everything that's going on. And for me, just to give a bit more context, that what that means is I know that I need challenge in my life. I need to be working towards something. I was a professional sportsman for a little while, and at times I've tried to get away from it and think, why do I need to be like that? I just need to be happy with things. Actually, I'm leaning into it. It's just I like chasing things. I like playing the game, and I think that's really important. So I feel alive, but also that success is all of those life areas.
Yeah.
Where I just feel like everything is, I'm achieving most things. I've got some challenge where some things are a little bit difficult. I look in the mirror and I feel happy. It's just all of the things that we've written down, what success looks like, that we're living that life.
Yeah.
The fact that you've even asked that question shows why we're hanging out more and we're good friends as well, because it's so aligned with how we're thinking and why we knew all your community would just be great people to be involved with. So yeah, top question.
Thank you so much.